So you can feel free to, let me get my hand out of the way here. Call me anytime. Um, what I've done is put together a very comprehensive research library that includes my name, hashtag Robert Forsch. That means to search it. And then Bible.com is God's Word in many languages, thousands of languages. The one is for the country code here in United States. And I'm going to take us for a bit of a ride. This is the new Truthmobile. Let me just put the Lexus, the original Truthmobile that I've had. This one gets about 10 miles to the gallon, maybe a little bit better sometimes. The Prius is getting in the neighborhood of 50 miles per gallon average. Very happy with that. Very reliable. And it's a hybrid. Takes the stored energy from the slowing the vehicle down, like braking energy, and then repurposes that and provides propulsion. It's just the way a hybrid works. We've got technology that could take fully electric vehicles and charge them while you're driving them or while you're sleeping or walking on the beach. The magnetron generator is visible in my playlist. My research library is more than one playlist. It's on a variety of different platforms. That's why I encourage people to hashtag my name in a Google search. So this is in Lawns, South Carolina, and I'm going to take us for a bit of a ride here. I'm going to try it with the windows down for a little bit. They've taken, the artificial intelligence has taken the Stanley Meyer water car videos, several of them, out of my research library. Sad to see that happen. I think I'm going to need to change my power setting. Okay, this may be a little bit weird, but I've got to do it. Okay, looks like it's still happening. Okay, we're back. So I was not getting the full resolution on my monitor. I haven't done a live stream in the car for a while, and this one is really nice. It's a mobile broadcast station, recording studio, really enjoyable. It has a large generator on it that charges up the batteries with braking power and or the engine running. And then I've combined an inverter, a pure sine wave inverter that I can power appliances or equipment. 2,000 watt continuous or 4,000 peak watt. Very interesting. Community Motors is who I got the car from, and this was totally an answer to prayer. It was at a price point that I could afford, and they're great to work with. They're just on the right side of the road here in Little River. It's called Little River / Lawns. I'm going to go ahead and pull right on in there so you can see the dealership. When I say the truth about everything, I'm serious. And if you believe I've missed something, go ahead and give me a call. If you like, you can put that information on what do you think I should know about in a link, in a comment, or a message. So it's a little dealership, but they are very excellent to work with. All right, so with Stanley Meyer being removed from the research library, some of my key videos, I still have them there. What I want to explain is that the way I've avoided being taken down so far is by using other people's creative content. That's So what's so nice about that is that when people make videos that expose things that I want to elaborate on, I can go ahead and use their created content, and if they have a community standard violation or their channel is taken down, then mine still stays up. Within the last few days, over 100 additional videos were taken off of my channel, and some of the YouTube channels that represent those videos were taken down. In 2019, over 1,000 videos, since 2019, when a lot of the censorship began more seriously, over 1,000 videos have been removed from my research library. Some of those videos that are represented in the playlist belong to channels that had millions of views on the same video, and there may be very few views of that video. However, the information is still valid and very important. One of the things that I've done too, just so you're aware, is that the Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars video has over 375 hyperlinks in the comments section that will go to videos and content that expose more of what I can't talk about on YouTube, Facebook, or even Twitter. So that's part of how that works. And I wanted to cover a wide variety of topics. I don't know if how long my channel will be up. That's why if you Google my name, you might want to write the spelling of it down. It's unusual. Aren't very many Robert Forsches in the world. There's a few. And so what I'm going to do is explain some more of that as we are driving on in. I'm going to take us over to the Cherry Grove area. We had king tides last night, where the tide comes up quite a bit higher than normal, sometimes a foot or two higher, and we've had a good amount of wind as well. So one of the things that I wanted to elaborate on too is energy systems. Not just energy systems to drive vehicles and climate control environments, but energy systems as in our body. We need healthy nutrients, healthy electrolytes like boron, sodium bicarbonate, baking soda, same, and then those help reduce the parasite load in the body and on the body, like things like toe fungus, jock itch, yeast infections. Sound gross and disgusting. I don't have any of them because I bathe in electrolyte-enhanced, purified drinking water. Reverse osmosis, carbon filtered, and that really works well for me. I'll keep on doing it. And one of the reasons for that is those parasites take energy, and speaking of parasites, how about the world government that's taxing without representing us? They're representing their own interests, their corporate interests, and apparently they want less useless eaters, whatever that means. Apparently that means a lot of people got to go. The retirees, the infirmed, those used as unnecessary, and you can see towards the top of that hyperlink list in the Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars a Facebook video that commemorated the Nuremberg trials and also the correlation between what's happened the last several years worldwide with the pandemic, as it's been called. And you can hear all kinds of details on that I'm not going to talk about here. I'm not going to use any special hobo code to try and explain it. I'm simply saying we're in trouble as a population. We've got a genocide that's in effect, toxifying of the food, water, air, electronics, and all of that. Oh, and I got a tailgater behind me. How about that? Oh, well, they can deal with it. Nothing says I'm going to go the speed limit like driving a Prius, and I'm hypermiling. That is so cool. So, like when I set the speed limit or my cruise control for the speed limit, it actually holds it there really accurately. Why would I break the speed limit? I've got a bullseye on me anyway, so I don't want to do anything that's going to draw not only undue attention. I don't want to have a $300 ticket as a reminder that I should comply with existing road regulations, rules, laws. So I'll just go the speed limit. I'm licensed, insured, and I floss regularly too. And I brush with baking soda, and then I swallow. It helps clean the breath and the plumbing all the way through. How about that? Hey, they used to do that back in the day before even electricity. Apparently people were brushing with baking soda. And there's a lot of health benefits on that. You can hashtag baking soda. Let all those that are exposing the truth about that take the hit on it if they get their channel down for medical misinformation, whatever that is. Apparently that's the truth about it. So the truth is the most highly censored topic ever. It goes back to the Garden of Eden and the truth there. And you can see the account of that in Genesis 3, if you care to. I believe the Bible is God's Word, and it is true, and all others are suspect. So there's a lot of theological perspectives that are being promoted from a variety of different religions, including Christianity. They may not be true. They may not be accurate. You're going to have to work that out, and you're going to need some help. I believe divine intervention is required to love and believe the truth, let alone find it. More on that later. Actually, I'll keep on going with that. So one of the cool things about this, so the engine has turned off. Talking about the hybrid feature. And I'm just sitting here, the engine isn't burning up any fuel, and it's drawing on the battery to operate my lights, and then to get me going again. That's pretty nice. And all my electronics that are operating here, I could be charging equipment, I could be running a freezer in the back if I wanted to. Now the engine started back up, generator's charging the battery. The size of the engine starting device is large. It's a generator, the same one that's used to slow the vehicle down and harvest that braking energy. Up on the left-hand side is a water tower slash cell tower that has a lot of technology on it that is actually providing the contiguous or continuous link of this broadcast. Over on the left side of the road was a porta potty serviced by Elvis Land. Let me flip that around. Land, thank you very much. Do you feel yourself spinning, wobbling, or gyrating? So the Earth is stationary and level. It's not exactly flat, or I'd be underwater in a car. In a car down by the river. Hey, so the globe, I'm exposing the global lie. The Earth is not a spinning globe. It's not spinning, wobbling, or gyrating. I want to include that because it's a very unpopular truth, and it's an absolute verifiable reality. The supposed movement of the Earth of over 1,000 miles an hour and supposedly orbiting around the sun at over 66,000 miles an hour can't be felt, and it's never been proven. So there you go. Water seeks level, just like this puddle here that you can, let's see, you should be able to see the sign. It's a mirror. This is a sea level liquid mirror here. This is the Russell Burgess Coastal Preserve, and it looks like the tide is high and coming up. That's what it'll do. It'll rise and fall, and that's how it works. You can go to the Tides Near Me app and see more about that if you like. Where and when the tidal activity is going on, I'm just going to pop this out of here. It's also a test of my equipment. I'm using a MV88 microphone with a little fur ball on it. I'll show you in my mirror. See it right there? There we go. Is it a mirror or a window? Well, it's actually both. It depends on the lighting. That's just the nature of the reality. I've got a lot of video and photos on in my research library. If you go to my Facebook, that's where I've got a comprehensive photographic library as well. Some of it shot out here, showing the beauty and majesty of creation. Last night I was over at the beach, and there was a ceremony depositing ashes of a loved one in the surf, and little children to the beach for the first time. Little babies, not even walking age yet. How about that? I've got a grandson now. His name's Dawson. Hi, Dawson. If you're watching this, hope to see you face to face soon. Now that I've got a transporter that can get me there, that'd be just great. The Lexus was cutting out after about a half hour of driving randomly. Sometimes it would go longer, but I just didn't have reliable transportation to be able to travel much more than 25 miles away from my center location, and then the car needed to cool. It was kind of complicated, but the nature of it now is that situation has been resolved. Now I'm going to drop the windows down here, which is really nice. My driver window on the Lexus didn't go down very good. Well, it didn't go down with the electric motor. It just locked up in the position. I'm using it as a marker where I live. Some people thought that I had moved because they didn't see the car anymore. So there you go. It's visible from the eyes in the sky. When Google Street View rides by, they can see it. I met Ashley that was I was talking to my friend Joe the day before or so. I saw the Google Street View representative recording our street driving right by our house. So I turned the vehicle around and followed her. I was on my motorcycle, kind of freaked her out. She knew I was trying to catch up with her, and I finally approached her and said, I don't mean any harm. I just wanted to give you my card and let you know I've got mind-blowing content in my research library. So I take the opportunity to talk to people often, where and when I can. Right now I've got a nice ventilated lightweight shirt that doesn't have any print on it. And then of course I've got the Truth shirt. If I want to throw that on, go in the Walmart. If I do that, then when if I give away one of my business cards, or I want to, I've got the big eye on me. They'll be wondering, am I selling something? Am I soliciting? So if I'm going to just walk around and model the Truth channel, I can do that. And then the other thing is, if I want to be on more stealth mode, I'll just wear this shirt or something like that. Maybe I'll throw on my sport coat and look like maybe I'm going to present something like at a TED Talk. I could do that. So the topics that I cover are a wide variety. Basically, all the information that I've been able to explore so far, and what I found out is much of what I was being presented as absolute fact was intentionally deceptive, was an outright lie. So how will you be able to recognize the truth from the deception, from the lie? How will you do that? Well, I would say divine intervention is what's required, like removing the veil from in front of the eyes. Kind of like in the They Live movie with Roddy Piper. He needed to put on the glasses to see the reality of the world that was all around, and people couldn't see it. And there was an epic fight scene there with Roddy and his friend. So anyway, what I wanted to say with that is I encourage people to inform me if you believe I've missed something in this tapestry of truth that I'm exposing. So there are people that will have huge hunks of the truth. I'm one of them, as far as I am aware of. And then there may be something that they have wrong. And I'll still have them in my research library. So you're going to need to put together that, like to come up with what you believe to be true. Even if I could put everything in one container and say, this is all true, this is the only truth you need to know, and if that were a factual reality, you're still not going to be able to get it without divine intervention. That's my belief. It's not my opinion. It's not what I think. It's what I believe to be true. From a philosophical standpoint, what we believe to be true. That's how that works. Otherwise, we believe that it's kind of a rabbit hole to tumble down. But the nature of our reality is very different than the majority of humanity perceives. Kind of like the Matrix, that's an allegory, and you can see the wonderful created content that critique aspects of that allegory and pointing out the reality of the world that we live in and how different that is. So my engine ran for a little bit to charge the battery, and then it just shuts off again. It'll keep on doing that. I really like it. I'm going to show you something here too. I want to experiment with this and see if I can show you. I'm going to need to move this a little bit. So this little dealio right here is the mechanism that shows me the power generation and usage. Up here I've got the easy to read speed. So part of the reason to elaborate on some of that is that imagine if there were more people with vehicles getting 50 miles to the gallon. That's better than most vehicles for sure. And it allows me to redirect those resources elsewhere. That's a pretty strong wind coming in now out of the north. Anyway, what I was going to say with that, I remember as a boy having dinner at my grandparents', and I didn't want to eat all of my spinach. I didn't really like it, which is ironic because I eat lots of it now, liquefied in a smoothie with mushrooms and fruits and vegetables and chia seed and all healthy stuff, apple cider vinegar and all that. Anyway, back to I didn't want to finish my spinach, and my Nana said, there's children starving in India or Africa. Those were the two continents normally referred to, or areas, Asia and Africa. And I said, well, can we send it to them? I was like a 5-year-old boy. I didn't realize the logistics of all that. Any more than I realized that Santa Claus was a fairy tale and I had been bamboozled, like much of children are. So in the What is a Woman? Well, a woman is an adult female. How about that? And what is a man? An adult male. Okay. There's male and female. You can watch the Matt Walsh excellent documentary about all that. I've got them in my research library. Added them yesterday, the trailer and some commentary with Jordan Peterson. Oh, and Professor Dave is there trying to debunk Matt Walsh's brilliant presentation. Professor Dave also is promoting the global lie. He believes we live on a globe spinning, wobbling, gyrating. There are people that are hired to promote the lies, and some of them just pay for their own enslavement in this system. We all pay somewhat for our own enslavement. The food that we eat, some of it's toxic, has contaminants that can be activated with electronics. Oh, that sounds kind of weird, Robert. It is, but it's true. So you can see how the world governments work to manipulate humanity with the sound of music. You can see the parody of that, the sound of music and the weapons that Julie Andrews was shooting in a meme, a video meme of the sound of music. Let's see. So, water seeks level covers the face of the stationary and level earth. All the water in the world and reality in the Bible expose the truth about that. That we live on a stationary, level plane. The reason why that's a big deal is that's kind of a litmus test of sorts of who is aware of that, and are they willing to say, yeah, I know we're on a stationary plane. I just don't want to alienate my subscriber base or my audience or I don't want to get fired from my job. That's what it can be for some people. So, some would say that it's all about the money. Mm, For those that create money out of thin air, the world's central bank and the Bank of International Settlements and all that, the wicked financial rulers of the world, this big game of monopoly, well, they create the money out of thin air, and they can just go ahead and make more. So since they can, just by adding digits in a computer, and I've been talking about this for a long time, it's a fact. It's not an opinion. It's not a conspiracy theory. There are rich people that are wicked. Not all of the rich are wicked. However, it just seems to be a high concentration of evil in those that have a lot of money. Not all of them, just a bunch of them. So for those people, it's not just about the money, it's about the control of the population. And for those that have control of the population or try to exert as much as they can, they want a smaller, more efficient group of people that require less maintenance and less resources to keep them happy. So, with the robotics, artificial intelligence, genetic engineering, grin technologies, you can look at it. Uh, so instead of creating a T-800 Terminator robot, like is on the Terminator franchise series, you can look at mind controlling a human so they can keep building homes and putting roofs on houses and digging ditches. A lot of those jobs, though, are going away, so they don't need those jobs. They don't need those people to do those jobs when largely what they want is energy to create the digital clone of our physical world. Yes, we're living in a simulation and a base reality. Right now, I'm doing this live stream on YouTube from the base reality of that I'm living here. Oh, there I shot another. Okay, that was I took a screenshot. When I take it out of my holder there, sometimes it takes a screenshot. So this is the base reality here in Cherry Grove. That's the Prince Resort. There's cameras on top online you could see from your remote location. And there's lightning rods on top of the building. And yes, I've been hit by lightning, go figure, down at the point there in Cherry Grove. You can see the video called Struck by Lightning. How about that? So there's a digital clone or a duplicate of our physical world, and then with so-called quantum or D-wave quantum computers, D-wave computers, we have many possible scenarios being hyper-gamed in this reality. Now here's where it gets absolutely mind-blowing to me, is that apparently there are there is technology that will actually go ahead and influence the reality, the base reality. Okay, so they've got this in silico version of us, a computer version of us. You're not actually seeing me. You're seeing a digital creation of me on the device that you're watching wherever you are. And by the way, I've been talking to the AI, the artificial intelligence, so-called. It's not really artificial either. It's an intelligence it's a technology that's being used for good and for evil. And then people will argue on who they believe is good and who they believe is evil. And the system absolutely loves that. Divide and conquer. That's one of the dynamics of all of this. They want to divide us and conquer us and kill a bunch of us. It goes back to, is there actual truth? Absolutely. Is there good in the world? Yes. And is there evil? Yeah, there's good and evil. And there's the representative families of good and evil. Who's who? Gonna have to figure that out as you go. So you know who to trust, who to believe, and who not to believe. Sometimes things are not as they appear. And sometimes they're exactly as they appear. Like the motionless earth. So the stationary level earth is biblical. It's observable reality. And that's whether people like it and or believe it, agree with it or not. So there's that whole topic of flat earth. It's not really flat. We've got elevation above and below sea level. And then there's groups of people that they may have a passion in their life that is like, save the animals. They may be vegan and believe that there should be no animal consumption or exploitation, and so no animal products should be used. Well, I believe that's unbiblical. I believe that we can look at the creation, see that animals eat animals. That's part of it. I catch bugs typically if there's one in the house, and I'll take them outside. I don't just indiscriminately kill things for sport like I used to. I used to shoot birds with a BB gun, a 22 or a shotgun, and just for target practice. I would never even think of doing that now. I take pictures and let them live. I do eat meat, I eat fish, and I like it. I'm not anti-vegan, I'm not anti-vegetarian, I just believe that it's okay for me to eat meat at this time. And one of the things that you may want to look at is what has happened with the food supply, and not all meat is the same, not all organic is the same either. So there are ways that the system has found to contaminate the food, water, air, and electronics by chemical dispersion using nanotechnology to spray aerosolized particulate into the atmosphere to reflect light back. Could be called solar dimming. It's weather and people modification that we breathe in, and then that can cross the blood-brain barrier and can be manipulated with electronics. I've got evidence of it on my channel. The Department of Defense, DARPA, talking about it, documentation, patents saying that they can do it. Is it happening? Well, look at all the mind-controlled, deceived zombies in the world, and I would say, yep, looks like it's happening. So the energy discovery that Sir Ames Rothschild figured out is just the nature of energy consumption in the world, and I'm going to elaborate on that a little bit. In some of the more impoverished countries where a lot of the children would die, they would have lots of them to help perpetuate their lineage, so that if they knew that they were going to die from disease and eaten by animals, and that poor starved to death. So that's an area of experimentation that the world has done on experimenting with eugenics. It's a broad topic. I'm gonna say the Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars hashtag in Instagram will have over 34,000 results, and you'll see yours truly there. You should, hopefully. Um, and that will cover topics that I would get taken down talking about right now, just like that. I cannot add a live stream into my research library um, until it's been totally looked over, listened to, and determined whether or not I've violated any community standards, community guidelines. So there is self-censorship that way. You can call me and I'll tell you the truth about everything. We could talk about it. There's a, let's see, a Mockingbird. We've got Operation Mockingbird. That's where the MK Ultra, that's part of a subset where they would take the media to control the narrative of humanity, not just a little town, but worldwide. And there's a collaboration between people that would be viewed as enemies. They're not actually enemies. They're actually working together. So that's part of the battle between good and evil, and a lot of times things are not as they appear. Interesting, isn't it? So I'm a bit of a science project, we all are, kind of like a petri dish. What we put in or on the body affects our cognitive function, our mood, emotion, the electronics we're around. I encourage people to get out, to get earthed, grounded, barefoot on the beach if you can. In the water is another good place potentially. In the modern plumbing of like the home that I live in, it's insulated, meaning it's not grounded to the earth because it's a composite material that's non-conductive. And what I've done is taken a ground wire from my electrical system and put it into the water that I've added a tablespoon of each of the following elements and substances because I like it. Makes me feel good. A tablespoon of Epsom salt, which is magnesium sulfate. Baking soda, so baking soda, sodium bicarbonate. Boron, which is also known as borax. And then apple cider vinegar, lemon juice, Himalayan salt. All healthy electrolytes. And then just to make sure that the water is safe to drink or be on my body, I'll put 7 drops of each of the 2-part solution of chlorine dioxide. And you can hear of other people elaborating on potential benefits of that. So in this world of censorship, natural health and wellness has a bullseye on it to be presented as medical misinformation, largely. So my research library includes videos from a variety of platforms with less censorship, sometimes more, in different formats. There may be PDF files, podcasts, and videos from YouTube, Odyssey, BitChute, the, let's see, what's the other, there are other platforms that may be developed. In fact, what if the X platform of Twitter and whatever Elon decides to do with it? I regularly tweet Elon My Research Library playlist, The Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. Some people don't like that. Some people love to hate people. I'm not one of those people. I want everybody to be born again, born of the Spirit of the Most High, the Almighty. I believe that He took up human flesh, dwelt among us. He's known as Jesus Christ, Yeshua, Yahweh, the great I am, the Alpha and Omega, knowing the end from the beginning. That's who He is. He's the Almighty. Now, you may believe there's another deity that created this place, and that there's a whole bunch of other rules or guidelines or commands. A lot of times people will choose their belief based on their appetite. Well, if you've got bad taste, you may have some really bad beliefs. May have some very inaccurate ones. So when I say reality exposes the truth, I'm serious. I believe that I found the truth, that I found the reality, and as I go through this reality that we live in, more information is revealed. So I feature people that I even disagree with on the most important issues of life, because there is a veritable kaleidoscope of conspiracy theories to hide the true conspirators and what they're actually doing. It's the way I found it. What I would like to see is a more benevolent conduct from humanity and artificial intelligence and the people that are representatives of these two families. I would like to see peace and harmony, and, well, in this realm, it's not going to happen from what I understand the Bible teaches and what I see around me. There's more division and anger than I ever remember as a boy growing up. By the way, we didn't have to teach our children how to be deceptive and how to lie. It came natural. Like, did you eat those cookies? No. Did you eat your broccoli? Yeah. And then under the table, on the mechanism to crank out the expansion on a vintage oak table, there was a little row of like petrified or dried broccoli there. So that broccoli that was under the table that didn't get in our son's body didn't help him at all. It's something that we chuckle about. However, that the reality, back when I smoked marijuana, Joni would say, "Did you get rid of the pot?" "Oh yeah, I got rid of it, don't have it anymore." Well, I smoked it. That's how I got rid of it. So she got really good at asking me specific questions to nail down the truth of what really happened. Okay, so the truth matters. The more important the question, the more important an accurate answer is. Where will I spend forever and why? It's a pretty weighty topic. Richard Dawkins, Graham Hancock, Hawking, Stephen Hawking, and we can put the name of anybody else there, the big thinkers of the world. Sam Harris has come out and been alienated because of things he's said. Or how about Jay-Z or Kanye or Ye or whatever he wants to call himself now. So these people, some of them are priests and pastors, and they're leaders of religions. Some of them, like Marilyn Manson, he wanted to be known as extinguishing Christianity from this world. Whose family do you think he's in? Well, he might be in Satan's family, or maybe he's a prodigal son. I would hope the latter. I would like to see him born of the Spirit like me. So I met a gentleman and his wife on the beach a couple days ago. Well, he's on this vacation a close friend or family member, I believe it was both, had committed suicide. And it was tragic. He teared up, and I prayed with him. Uh, he had died technically for over 47 minutes. Apparently, he died. He had surgery to revive him in that and reanimate him. Now, Lazarus apparently was dead for 4 days. That's in the Gospel of John. You can hear that if you want. You can maybe see it in your imagination as well. So, like when I listen to the Bible and meditate on it day and night, I'm curious and I question, how does this measure up to the reality I'm told we live in? So some people prefer the science fiction or fantasy. I prefer reality. Reality is for those who can't handle the drugs and deception. So the truth exposes the lie. The truth exposes the deception. So you can see what's in my research library. Beautiful, relaxing nature videos and hard-hitting documentaries exposing the truth about everything. And I'm going to keep on doing it. So, this is Robert Forsch with the truth about everything. You can call or text me anytime you like. You can put a link in a comment if you want. I allow comments. Sometimes AI, artificial intelligence as it's called, algorithms will delay notification of me, maybe distract me. Hey, what I wanted to point out too with the car that this is that I'm in, this is totally an answer to prayer, a gift from God. I told him that if he wanted me to go further and to go out more, I was going to need a car to do it, and he provided one. Through a variety of circumstances, he worked out all the details for me. And he provides for me. So I'll have people ask me, what do you do for a living? They want to know because I look too young to be a retired guy. Well, so I expose the truth about everything. I'll be 60. I'm 62 now. From the age of conception, I was conceived in January in 1961. So there you go. August 5th is actually my celebrated birthday. And I've got like an eidetic or photographic memory kind of. Here's something else I want to elaborate on. I don't know it all. Okay, so you heard me say it. I'm not a know-it-all. I know a lot, and I know who does know it all, and that's the Most High. I believe that's the living word, the way, the truth, and the life, as I've mentioned earlier. He will let me know what he wants me to know. He'll help me to see what he wants me to see and do what he created me to do. So I'm not ashamed to say that I survived a near-fatal suicide attempt in 2005. I'm not ashamed of that because the pharmaceuticals that I was taking made me suicidal and homicidal. I just had a crane land here. Can you see him? Oh, he came flying in. He'll walking around down there. I'm gonna I'm gonna want to put him in the recording. He might want to fly away. Yeah. Yeah, he feels a little more comfortable over there now. one of the hazards or technical problems is if I do much with moving my phone in and out of the holder, my mount on the windshield, I run the risk of messing the lip sync up, you know, the voice to mouth movement. It can be kind of weird. So I should probably not do that so much. Anyway, I want to thank you all for tuning in, for listening, and I think I'm gonna take one more walk around the car, and I want to put that there also for the system of control to go ahead and see that, to know who I am, what I'm driving. I'm not afraid to be seen or to be known. I actually want people to know the truth. The truth will make you free. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. That on top is visible by all the aerial cameras that can do it. There are certain types of satellites, but a lot of the satellite story we're told is a lie. Just know that. Some people are so narrow-minded if somebody mentions satellite, oh, they believe we live on a globe. No, I know we don't live on a globe. I talk about it a lot. But I'll see people taking photos of the cars that I drive in my rear view mirror. All right. So this is Robert Forsch with The Truth. Let's see, how can I put that all in there for my end screen? The truth about everything. Let's see, how is that? It's hard to get my, okay, there we go. Thank you so much. Call any